Last episode, Sorin, Vekni, and Malicos met with Mayor Shroud and his bodyguard, Rochambeau, in the mayor's office. Vekni altered her voice a bit to somewhat disguise her identity. The mayor, who was red-faced, sweaty, and overweight, immediately asked for donations and contributions from the PCs. Sorin donated 200 gold to the mayor, whose eyes lit up like a child on Christmas morning. Sorin and Vekni explained they had come from Lorgan's Tavern, where they spoke with a group of lions. Lord Leonidas of Lions wished to request Mayor Shroud to rein in Karaganda to stop him from bullying the people of Pridecutter Keep. Shroud said 200 gold was not enough for him to do that. Shroud asked the PCs to find the rebels within the city for him, and he would speak with Karaganda. Sorin mentioned he did not feel comfortable discussing business with Shroud's fierce-looking female guard present, and asked that he had her leave. Sorin cast a suggestion on Shroud to convince him and was successful. Despite this, Ro refused the mayor's command to leave, stating that she did not serve Shroud, but served directly under Karaganda. Rochambeau added her orders were to safeguard the mayor, and that the mayor would not live long without her, as many in the city wanted him dead. Vekni looked over to Sorin and said under her breath, "I think this is going to get messy." Vekni took a half step away from Sorin and reached down towards her sword belt. Ro noticed Vekni repositioning herself and eyed her intensely. Sorin looked to Vekni, then to Rochambeau. He felt a heavy tension in the room. Ro lowered her hand and lightly touched the tips of her fingers to the hilt of her sword, before grasping it fully. Sorin considered the situation. Himself, a human wizard, Vekni, an experienced high elf pirate, and Malicos, another pirate in his prime, versus a single armored woman and a fat, sloppy politician. Despite this, Sorin did not have a good feeling and was uneasy about starting a battle here. Vekni looked over to Malicos, and both adventurers nodded to one another. She turned back to Rochambeau and unfurled her whip. Vekni snapped her whip at Ro twice, landing a blow on her armored stomach. Vekni infused ki to stunning strike Rochambeau, but Ro seemed impervious to the ability. Vekni rushed in towards her opponent and slammed her in the chest with a punch and another stunning strike. The ability seemed useless against Ro on the second attempt as well. Rochambeau deftly drew the sword from her sword belt and slashed at Vekni, striking her in the shoulder. She swung at Vekni again, but Sorin, thinking quickly, casted the silvery barb spell, and Ro's attack slid off the magic barrier, leaving Vekni unharmed. Ro glowed with a translucent orange aura, and Malicos, Sorin, and Vekni felt something strange come over them. Vekni and Malicos were able to resist the effect of Ro's ability, but Sorin was overcome with a terrible fear of her. Ro turned to Shroud and stated, "You're going to have to do it." Malicos moved swiftly to Mayor Shroud's flank and attempted to stab him, but the ex-pirate was a bit rusty and missed his target. Malicos tossed his dagger through the air towards his free hand and deftly snatched it up, then fluidly jammed the blade forcefully into the mayor's side, sinking in deep with his sneak attack ability. Malicos showed great movement on the cramped battlefield, circling around his prey without giving up any advantage at all. Vekni looked on, wishing in her head Malicos stayed still, so she could properly flank her opponents. Sorin, under the effect of Ro's ability, ran back to the entrance of the room and opened the door, attempting to flee from her. Mayor Shroud reached under his desk, and everyone in the room heard a quiet click noise. A mechanical clanking sound emanated from underneath the floors. In the middle of the room, going from the mayor's desk to the doorway entrance, fell away like a giant trap door. Vekni was barely able to jump out of the way and made it to the side of the room safely. Malicos was not in the area of the room that was affected by the trapdoor, as he was close to the mayor's position. But Sorin, he fell 50 feet through pitch-black darkness and slammed hard onto the stone floor below, suffering considerable damage. On a positive note, with Sorin no longer able to view Rochambeau, he broke free of her ability's effect, but he was now 50 feet down in a pitch-black pit. Vekni leapt into the air and landed behind Rochambeau. She threw a hard hook into Ro's ribs, causing Ro's body to jerk violently with the force of the blow. Then Vekni infused ki to attempt a stunning strike. The ability failed to affect Ro, but Vekni could determine this endeavor was no longer fruitless. Vekni launched a flurry of blows on Rochambeau and infused more ki for another stunning strike. This time, Vekni successfully stunned her opponent. Vekni was winded, taking short, rapid breaths after expending all of her ki in such a short period of time. Vekni put her weight into 2 more hooks on the stunned Forte warrior. She landed another brutal gut shot, but missed with her second swing. Malicos spun his dagger and zipped it through the air, towards the mayor's exposed kidneys. His first slash missed, and Malicos stabbed deep into the mayor's side again with his second attack. Shroud winced in pain, and a look of panic was plain on his sweaty, chubby face. Sorin climbed to his feet and drank a potion of greater healing and a potion of dark vision. Once the effects of dark vision took hold on Sorin, he observed he was in a fairly small room. Sorin saw 4 closed portcullises, 1 on each side. He also observed a multitude of bodies strewn about the room, in varying states of decomposition. Sorin observed a male Leonin with a majestic mane laying on the ground in front of him. The Leonin was wearing blue and yellow clothing. Sorin casted mage armor on himself and readied for more battle with his foes above. Mayor Shroud lifted the purple cloth behind him and went back behind it. He fiddled around out of sight, with only the outline of his fat back visible through the cloth. The 2 statues and 2 pillars on either side of the room began to slowly turn towards Malicos and Vekni. Slits appeared on the inanimate objects and arrows fired out of the holes towards the adventurers. 2 arrows hurtled towards Vekni, while 2 headed towards Malicos. Both arrows struck Malicos on the shoulder. One of the arrows embedded itself shallow into Vekni's side, while she caught the second one out of the air with her bare hand. Vekni wrapped her arms around the stunned Rochambeau and yeeted her into the pit, head first. Ro landed hard on the stone floor 50 feet below. Vekni looked over to Malicos and said, "You finished the fat one." Then she leapt into the pit, landing with her heels down on the prone Forte warrior's spine. While standing on the woman's back, Vekni quickly quaffed a potion of cure wounds. Malicos attacked Shroud through the curtain, stabbing into his back twice. The statues and pillars rotated to face Malicos, and all 4 fired at the retired pirate. The arrows pierced his ribs on both sides, sinking into his body. Malicos casted mage armor on himself. Then he sank his dagger deep into the mayor's back again. More arrows hurtled towards Malicos. He was hit by 2 of them, but one missed and struck Mayor Shroud. The arrow pierced the mayor's back and slipped into his heart, killing the overweight man. Blood poured from the purple curtain, and the silhouette of Mayor Shroud collapsed to the ground. Rochambeau moved clumsily at the bottom of the pit and happened to stagger directly towards Sorin. She slashed at Sorin and blindly struck his right shoulder twice. Sorin cast a bestow curse on Ro and successfully cursed her. Vekni whispered Ignis to her javelin of lightning and threw it at Rochambeau. The javelin struck Ro directly, in the chest, and a tremendous amount of electric energy crackled all around the Forte bodyguard, badly damaging her. Sorin attacked Ro with Tasha's Mind Whip, psychically damaging the Forte warrior. Vekni pushed towards Rochambeau and delivered a combination of hooks to her female combatant. Vekni felt the blows were ineffective and leapt onto Ro's shoulders before sharply twisting her neck. Rochambeau's neck snapped and she collapsed dead with a broken spine. After the battle, Sorin examined Leonin. Sorin determined he had multiple chunks of flesh missing from his body, most likely from some kind of animal bite. He had been dead for less than a week. Sorin saw his entire right shoulder had been eaten away under his clothes, and this was done post-mortem, after his body already began to decay. Sorin surmised this was done by a carrion crawler. Sorin located a letter on the corpse from Lord Leonidas of Pridecutter Keep. In the letter, Lord Leonidas pled for this Leonin to ask Mayor Shroud to convince Karagonda not to harm him or the people of Pridecutter Keep. Vekni and Sorin climbed out of the pit while Malicos searched the mayor's body. Malicos found a key on the mayor's corpse, and the handle of the key was shaped like the Forte sigil. Sorin searched the mayor's desk and found a locked safe, with the combination lock as part of the desk. Malicos successfully picked the lock. Inside the safe, Malicos found piles of gold inside, totaling 10,000 pieces. Sorin took the mayor's fancy black pen. The pen cap looked like the mayor's face, in a Pez dispenser type fashion. Sorin tossed the mayor's body into the pit and closed the trapdoor. Then he tidied up the room to attempt to hide the fact that a battle took place here. The adventurers left the mayor's office and returned to the dungeons. Malicos asked Loki for the gold and the potion in exchange for his freedom. Loki handed over the 50 gold pieces, which were brown and feces stained. Sorin accepted the gold. Next, Loki handed over the golden potion, which Malicos accepted and wiped down. Malicos unlocked Loki's cell with Shroud's key, and Loki egressed from the dungeon. Sorin convinced a begrudging Vekni to stop by the Mandrid Library and Observatory before leaving the municipal buildings. Sorin located a spell scroll of Ice Storm written in Elvish while searching the library. Sorin found a back room filled with old, crumbling tomes. Inside the room, he discovered some tomes about gods, demons, and a being referred to as the Generator. Sorin ascended to the top of the building, entering into the observatory. He found a dirty, broken telescope. Sorin used mold earth to clean up the dirt and look through the lens. Sorin observed the blurry image of a remarkable focused light. He could not fully make out the image due to the crack in the lens. Sorin, Vekni, and Malicos exited the municipal buildings, avoiding sentries. They traveled back to Lorgan's Tavern. Sorin and Malicos retired upstairs to get ready for bed, while Vekni drank at the bar and spoke with Lorgan. Sorin casted Identify on the potion Malicos received from Loki. Sorin determined drinking the potion would grant a permanent increase to Constitution, but that it was cursed. After resting a bit at Lorgan's, Vekni and Sorin took a trip to the mercenary recruiting office. While en route, the adventurers observed a black crow flying directly towards Sorin. The crow had a letter in its talons. Vekni drew her whip and lashed out at the crow as it landed, killing it. It fell dead at Sorin's feet. Sorin took the letter from the crow and observed the letter was sealed with the sigil, representing the White Rose of Ferelden. Sorin recognized the crow as belonging to his mother, the Queen of Ferelden, Genlia Abyssal. The party continued on into the mercenary recruiting office. They met the individual working there, a half-orc with sharp yellow teeth and stupid-looking orange sideburns. Vekni handed the worker the manpower request she received from Joey McGriggins in Queensgrace. Sorin advised the half-orc that he was sent by Sir Galloway to pick up his saddle. Sorin received the saddle, which would grant any horse equipped with it a +2 to AC. The saddle was black leather and finely decorated. The sigil of Ferelden was woven onto it. The buckles and straps of the saddle were golden. Next, Sorin and Vekni returned to Tigerkeg to check on his progress with Lady Rose's tiara. Tigerkeg advised the party he finished the tiara. He presented them with a brass tiara. The clear stone was embedded in the center, but hanging loosely. Bent nails were hammered around the stone, seemingly the only things keeping it in place. The tiara looked like a shoddily crafted fucking mess. Vekni leaned over to Tigerkeg and whispered, "Long live the king, whose name is Lorien." Tigerkeg immediately attacked her upon hearing those words. Sorin, thinking quickly, casted hypnotic pattern on Tigerkeg, incapacitating him. Vekni tied him up while Sorin placed his leg shackles on him. Sorin shoved a bag of sand into Tigerkeg's mouth. Sorin cast a minor illusion to disguise Tigerkeg's face, to make him appear to be a pureblood ogre that was missing an eye. In actuality, Tigerkeg was a Mach Nathal, a very rare hybrid of an orc and an ogre. Sorin retrieved Vekni's horse as well as his own from the stables, while Vekni knocked Tigerkeg unconscious. Vekni observed from within the blacksmith there was a great deal of commotion in the city, and the Forte soldiers appeared to be on high alert. Sorin and Vekni traveled through a residential area pretending to be Forte soldiers with a drunk ogre in tow. They tricked a group of 40 Forte soldiers while en route. The party returned to the clad boat called Kingsman. Then they returned to the clad hideout with Tigerkeg. Upon arrival, Vekni instructed some soldiers to bring Tigerkeg to Sir Brost, and they obliged. The party returned to the throne room to speak with Prince Lorien, Lord Henry, Sir Brost, and Zaros. The prince thanked the adventurers for rescuing Henry. Brost awarded Vekni with the King's Protector for saving Lord Henry. He also awarded 43,000 gold pieces for the killing of Mayor Shroud and Rochambeau, as well as the capture of Tigerkeg. Vekni offered to tell the men of Clad all about the battle with Mayor Shroud and his guard. Sir Brost snapped his fingers, and Getman retrieved chairs, tables, tankards of ale, and cups from the bar. Getman filled the cups for Sorin, Vekni, Prince Lorien, Zaros, Sir Brost, Lord Henry, and himself. Vekni chugged a tankard of ale, let out a big belch, and began her story. She captivated those present with the tale, explaining at length what transpired in Mayor Shroud's office. As Vekni continued with her story, guards, common folk, and the familiar faces of Clad filtered into the room with chairs, and they set up to listen. By the time Vekni was finished, the room was absolutely crammed with people, all on the edge of their seats, listening to Vekni and Sorin. Prince Lorien drew his jeweled short sword and offered knighthood to both Vekni and Sorin. Both warriors declined the reward. Prince Lorien, Lord Henry, Sir Brost, Sir Winzelot, Rowena Ravenclaw, Zaros, Getman, One Reaper, Edgerin, and all the soldiers and armed people present drew out their swords, maces, axes, warhammers, and all manner of weapons. All present touched their weapons together in an impressive showing of unity and strength, then looked to Sorin and Vekni. Vekni drew her short sword, and Sorin unveiled one of Sir Deej's bracelets, extending the retractable blade contained within. Vekni and Sorin touched their blades with those of the men and women of Clad. Lord Henry said, "All kingsmen, raise your blades and touch them together. To the rightful king of Dovah, we swear our loyalty. We swear our swords. We swear our lives." Vekni and Sorin both stated, "Hear, hear!" and the others present joined in, cheering, hooting, and celebrating the great victory brought on by the courageous adventurers. Prince Lorien remarked that Malicos was welcome to a knighthood if he wished as well. Prince Lorien stated Clad was ready to move on from Vigor Valley City and journey to Queensgrace, as the PCs had previously suggested. He asked the party for a favor, though, to whisk Princess Tyraz away from the city. Vekni and Sorin told the prince that after leaving the city, they would be making a pit stop first. They said they must travel to Epona's Bog to rescue their friend Prince, who had gotten himself into a bit of trouble. Sorin and Vekni discussed Tiger Keg with Prince Lorien and his vassals. The party voiced their confusion concerning the poor craftsmanship of Tiger Keg and compared his work to that of Trifle. Lorien's men explained Tiger Keg was said to be the finest craftsman in the Fringe, and that Trifle, who was once King Lorien's master-at-arms, was only capable of average work. Sorin showed Henry the poorly made tiara Tiger Keg made for a rose. Henry speculated perhaps the reward for Tiger Keg was too great, and Vekni immediately responded with, "No takesies backsies." Henry spoke of Tiger Keg's rare race, the Machnathal, which was a hybrid mix of orc and ogre. He stated orcs and ogres were typically unable to mate, but there were rare, miraculous occurrences of such a mating. Henry explained Machnathal were known to be chaotic, evil creatures without reason, so the fact Tiger Keg was one of these species and was capable of crafting weapons and armor was an exceedingly rare occurrence.
Welcome back to another episode of Power Word Nerd.
We can get right back into our Dungeons and Dragons. We left off last week where you guys killed the mayor and their bodyguard, and then you went back to the Clad hideout. You collected their bounty, and you're in the throne room talking to Prince Lorien, Zaros, and Sir Brast.
I think we ended telling the tale of how we, killed the mayor
And Rochambeau.
Rochambeau, and like we were like kind of like doing it like this, like audience of like children and women and men.
That's right. They called people were coming into the throne room, and it was like crammed with people.
Vekni was putting on a show.
Yeah,
that's right.
As we told the tale.
Forgot about that.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, and I think that's when, like, we just kind of ended the session and all that fun stuff. So, I do know we took a long rest.
So you guys are fully rested.
Yeah.
And
And Mark
that
Rios,
throne.
or whatever the hell Don's character is gone. Apparently.
He's gone. Oh. We can say he's there, we can say he's not there. We'll let Dom decide that.
It's fine, you know what? He's a rogue. He can just like pop in and pop out.
Yeah. Well, you wake up in the morning and you're in the room alone.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, I'm gonna ritual cast Unseen Servant and have him dress me.
Okay.
As I typically do in fashion. And then I'll kind of like hang out for a little bit. I'm gonna ritual cast Identify. That'll take me 11 minutes.
Sure.
And I do have my pearl worth at least 100 GP. It's worth 500 GP actually.
Well, I don't know if it's worth that. It's getting paid for it.
And I'm gonna try to identify the Abyssal Spellbook that I have.
To see if there's any magical properties about it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
So you choose one object that you must touch, Spellbook, throughout the casting of the spell, so it's 11 minutes. If it's a magic item or some other magic imbued object, you learn its properties and how to use them. Whether it requires attunement to use, or how many charges it has, if any. You learn whether any spells are affecting the item and what they are. If the item was created by a spell, you learn which spell created it. And then if you instead touch a creature throughout the casting, you learn what spells, if any, are currently affecting it.
Alright. I think it's up, Noogle. Alright, so you identify the Abyssal Spellbook, and you learn a little bit more about it. So you already used your language's spell to read what spells were in there, what the book was called, and all that. But now, after using Identify on top of that, you also learn the following. It doesn't require attunement,
but it does have magical properties to it in that when you're casting spells using the spellbook, you do need to speak whenever there's any kind of a command word that's necessary for any kind of a verbal element of the spell. You need to speak it in Abyssal, not in Common. And also, you can determine that the spellbook itself has an origin that was not on this plane.
Cool.
It was originated from one of the layers of the abyss.
That's actually really important for me.
Why is that?
Important for me. Because there are spells. I don't have any spells now, but there are.
I'm a monk. I punch things.
I can learn the plane shift spell, and I can use it as my tuning fork because it comes from another plane of existence.
It's actually perfect.
And it'll allow me to go into the abyss if I ever need to.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you can tell it originates from one of the layers of the abyss.
Cool.
Yes.
Yeah. If I would never need to ever take the spell unless I ever had an object that came from a different plane of existence. Because
you have one.
Now I have one.
Didn't even know that.
Didn't even know that. That's really cool. All right, cool. So I must, hold on, I'm going to write this down. Must speak in Abyssal. So does that mean that if I copy any spells out of it into my own book, when I use those spells, I also have to, it's just if I ever use that spell book?
If you use that spell book, it has to be in Abyssal. You have to speak it in Abyssal. For any verbal component. Some spells don't require verbal, so that wouldn't matter.
So, like, for instance, it has Bestow Curse, right? I have Bestow Curse in my other one. So, I can choose which one I want to... It doesn't do anything for my spell slots.
When you're casting spells as a wizard, aren't you using a spellbook? Isn't that how it works?
Yes.
So if you're using that Abyssal spellbook, you must use any verbal component has to be in Abyssal. Okay. If you use your other spellbook, it's just like normal.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. If you copy spells from the Abyssal book into your regular book, you should be good.
Okay.
Good to go.
So I have to speak in Abyssal, and I know that it's attuned to another place.
It originated from a layer of the abyss.
Yeah, and those are the only two things, right?
Yeah, it doesn't require attunement, and it doesn't have any other kind of properties. It's not cursed. You do it. What are you doing?
While I'm writing this, you can do your thing.
Oh, Vekni's just downstairs having a breakfast, beer and eggs. She got up a while ago.
Alright. Yeah, the tavern is it's kind of hopping, but people are kind of moving around a little busier than they were the last couple of days. It seems like almost they're getting ready for a departure. Because as you know, their business here is kind of done now that that a lot of those targets were taken out. And Lord Henry's been rescued.
Is the Kasumi ninja still there?
Well, that would have been in Lorgans. You're not in Lorgans. You're in the Clad hideout. You were sleeping there.
That's right. So there's a big hustle and bustle and people are leaving?
They're not leaving. They're like, people are like packing and a lot of hustle and bustle, like they're getting ready to leave. They can't just start like filtering out of the Clad hideout because you need either a boat or you'd have to leave from the sewer. What are you doing? Oh, your hair? Something? Did you do something with his hair? The haircut?
What? Oh, you noticed, thank you.
I was like, yeah, you got like the professional cut.
I cut all mine off.
I've been wearing hats a lot
I
lately.
don't have that problem. Pretty lush, except for back here. That's why I'm glad the camera's over there now, not directly behind me. That was a shot to my pride whenever the camera was behind me and I just saw my fucking monkey butt hanging out. Vekni is going to, since she got up before him, is going to make her way to that gas room at the entrance.
Okay.
Can she get out?
Oh, I see what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're gonna hide bodies.
Yeah. You can move the doors yourself.
All right. So
You can get back into that room.
can I see if there's anybody in the room before I go into it?
How would you do that?
I don't know. I don't know how it's set up.
So if you recall, I guess you never really saw how to operate that exterior door, but there was that door where there was like a lot of mechanisms that you could hear moving around, and it was a really loud like sound as this hidden stone door swings open. That from that hidden door, where the steel plate was. So it would be very, very loud because it was very loud when you did it.
All right. So she's just gonna ask if there's another way besides that door to get into the sewers.
What are you asking?
Who's around?
Where are you?
I'm at the bar.
The bartender's there.
Is Lord Brost there?
Sir Bross is not there.
Doomfist?
Yes.
I'll ask him.
Hello, nice to meet you. You've never spoke to Doomfist.
I did. I talked to him. See, it's right here.
Well, if you wrote it down, it must be true.
I'm pretty sure you didn't speak to him.
How else would I know his name? That he was a monk.
Because the bartender told you.
Temagorgos.
The bartender told you that. You never spoke to him.
Alright, then is Getman there? I've talked to him.
Yes, he's there.
He's a spy. So
Yes.
I'll go up to Getman and ask him if there's another way besides the giant rock door to get to the sewers.
Oh, Vekni. There's only 2 ways to get in and out of our hideout. One way is taking a boat and coming through the cave entrance in the reservoir wall. The other way is through the sewers.
But how do you know if there's anybody in these stalls from inside here?
What do you mean?
Well, I would like to go and inspect the bodies that we found yesterday. Do we know if there are any Vega or Forte guards in there?
Well, you can always use our method. What I like to do is I like to get my body really close to the stone wall, and I press my ear up to the wall and I listen to see if I can hear anyone on the other side.
Okay. Is there any other way? Is that it?
To see if there's anyone in the gas room, that is the only way.
Do you know if...
We don't have cameras.
Well, I understand that. Maybe I had a peephole.
We don't have any mages or anything like that either here.
Have you any of your... the master of spies or whatever?
It was said that he would be in the running to be a royal spy master if the prince ever became king. He's basically he's their primary spy. He dresses like a commoner and infiltrates the city all the time.
Have you heard if anybody from Racine Forte has heard of... well, what time would it be right now? 4 hours after we got back. Really early in
You
the morning.
guys finished, I'm going to say 2 at the very latest. Would have been like 2. So it would be like 6 a.m. right now if it's 4 hours later.
Okay.
Maybe a little after that, maybe like 6:30.
Have you noticed in town if anybody has heard that the assassination squad of Sudige has gone missing?
I have not been back to the town since we last spoke.
Do you know if anybody that was?
No, since last night when we had our conversation, since you returned, no. We only leave the hideout when necessary.
Do you know when you are planning to vacate the premises?
We're planning to leave at some point, either late today or tomorrow, depending on how quickly we can pack up. My understanding is that the prince and Sir Bross are taking your advice, the advice of you and Sorin, and we're all gonna head towards Queen's Race to try to make that allyship with Queen Inez.
I think we need to get your baby daddy.
Yeah, no. But we got another day to wait for the stupid crown anyway.
No,
No, we got the
you
crown.
have the crown.
Yeah, it looks like shit.
Oh, that's
Don't remember you kidnapped the guy and you brought him to where they are.
I don't remember. That's why I like to listen to the episode prior to starting. That's why I asked this one.
Nah, it's not even halfway edited.
That's fine.
I have an hour of it edited. That's it. It's probably gonna be like 2.5 hour episode.
Then Vekni will head to the door and do what he said and put her elf ear against the door to see if she hears anything on the other side.
Alright, so you head back out to the outside, you walk back up to that passage door, you open the wooden door, and get to that exterior wall door, the hidden door, and you put your ear to the wall. And why don't you roll a perception? Your DC is 10.
20.
You're certain that there's no one in the room.
Okay, then I'll open the door.
Okay, how are you gonna do that?
You said that it just opens.
Well, I didn't say it just opens. I said that it's loud when it opens.
Is there a mechanism on this side of the door to open it?
You're able to find a button that looks oddly out of place, flush with the cave wall.
I'm not there, but are you sure you want to be doing that right now? And what if there are people on the other side and you just come rushing in and you give away the secret hideout?
I rolled a 20 and he said there was no one on the other side.
Okay.
Because we got that dagger that we're supposed to place on the dead bodies. to frame Darkwing or Nightwing or Blackwing or whatever the fuck
Boom.
his name was.
Third try.
Blackwing? Yeah. That we were supposed to frame for killing some of the Forte men, and I completely forgot I had it.
So we don't blame these guys?
No, I just want to put it on, stab it in Sir Deej so it throws them off our trail.
What if we just put it inside the mayor's office?
It's too late now. We're not-
Hey, didn't you hide that he was dead? Didn't you hide his body?
No, nobody knows that we did that.
You threw his body in the pit.
Yeah,
you
no,
closed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a single person knows it was us. Nobody. They don't even know. The only thing that they do know is that they're missing.
Yeah, they probably don't even know he's dead. Well, yeah, you cleaned up the room and everything.
Cleaned up the room,
Yeah.
we straightened up all the papers, everything.
I think I had you roll too to see how clean you made it. I think you made it pretty clean.
Yeah.
I plan on going back anyway because I want to, not the second, but some point in the campaign because I want to fix that telescope thing. And then pick up the mending spell and I can probably fix it. That made my character really curious. I really want to see what's going on right there.
I can't remember his backstory, but he remembers the telescope.
When I looked into it, I tried to clear it out once. It didn't work. And then I saw 3, lights in the sky. It was the best way to describe it, but I couldn't make it out because the lenses were broken. Damn it! But he was very detailed about the observatory.
In fact, he goes to press a button, and then she thinks about it, and she's not comfortable with the fact that she can't see what's on the other side. So she heads back and goes back and gets her ale and eggs.
Okay. So you eat your breakfast, hang out a little bit, wait for Sorin to get up.
I'll go over to Doomfist and talk to him, since you said I didn't talk to him yet.
Okay. He sees you walking over to his table. He's sitting by himself, eating breakfast as well. And he looks up to you and he goes, "Hello."
And I heard your name is Doomfist.
Yes. Pleasure to meet you.
Same to you.
I heard you did your work. And he stands up from his chair and he tries to shake your hand.
She shakes it back. There's a firm grip for a woman. Not too firm because my strength's only a 10.
He puts his hands together like this, in prayer, and he bows his head, and he says, "Praise be to Temagorgos. May his light shine upon us."
I don't know what Temagorgos is.
Oh, well, that is terrible news that you don't know who Temagorgos is. Please sit. We can speak of Temagorgos.
Oh, let me get another ale. And she goes back and grabs another ale and another one, and then sits at the table with 2 ales in front of her. Go ahead, and I'll let him talk about Temagorgos till he wakes up.
He just tells you basically that he's a divinity god. There are different stories about how he looks like, but generally it's agreed upon that he has this splendid golden armor that glows with this golden aura. He has these huge angel wings, a face almost like a cat, like a tabaxi type face. And that Temagorgos is one of the lesser gods. He's not one of the most powerful gods out there, but that essentially he's devoted to fighting all things evil, fighting the demons in the abyss, fighting the devils in the 9 hells, and that he tries to protect the realms of men from calamities and from evil. Yeah, and that he's the god that he is devoted to.
Okay.
And he just talks about him ad nauseum.
While he's talking, does he have weapons on him?
He does not have any weapons on him. No, he has a yellow bandana on his head. And he has doesn't have armor. He has this yellow tank top with open. It's a button. It's like a button-up sleeveless shirt, and it's open. And he's got rippling abs. He has very, very, very low body fat. Very, very low. He has he has veins and stuff.
Does he look like Ryu from Street Fighter?
No, he doesn't have that kind of muscle mass. He's more on the thin side, but he has
Bruce Lee?
I'd say more like that. Yes, more like that. I mean, we could even say he looks Asian as well. He's bald.
Asian.
But again, he's got the yellow bandana. He has these blue pants that would look similar to a pair of wind pants from today. Windbreakers, whatever you call them.
Parachute pants?
Yeah.
Okay. Becky will have another ale, and we'll just continue talking with this guy. Then she'll start talking about bar fights and stuff like that once he gets done with his Temagorgos lecture.
He'll say, I really don't. I don't believe in violence when it's not to fight evil. So that is not something that I would be interested in.
Well, isn't evil subjective?
No, evil's black and white.
Is it?
Yes. There is no gray in the world when it comes to morality.
Well, let me pose a paradox to you. Are there trains in this timeline?
Yeah.
Okay. So there is a cart bearing down on the street, and there's a child standing in the way. You can either turn the cart and drive the cart off a cliff, or hit the child and save the cart, which contains 2 people and their goods. What do?
You must do all that you can to save everyone. Every life is precious.
There is only 2 options.
You have to do everything you could to save both. Even if it meant giving your own life.
So you're not going to answer the paradox. Because there is no answer.
I did answer.
In the eyes of the mouse, the cat is evil.
That was very deep, Joe.
You're deep.
Just saying. Just saying.
In the eyes of the mouse, the cat is evil.
Okay.
So
The mouse would be correct. It is a sin to eat any kind of living creature.
But
So
how is it
the
a sin?
Well, the cat killing a mouse, that is evil.
But if the cat does not do that, it dies. So is self-preservation evil?
To protect others, sometimes you have to endure self-sacrifice.
So are you saying
I'm not
that?
hearing that makes no sense.
If I was a cat, and the only thing that I could eat would be mice, I would starve myself.
So are you saying that all predators have no purpose? They are evil.
Yes, there are only 3 types of beings in this world.
Okay.
There are the wolves. They're evil, out there preying on the weak. You have the sheep who need protecting, and then there's the sheepdogs who do the protecting. And
But the
that's me.
sheepdogs also eat meat.
Not this one.
It's a vegetarian.
Well, but in your analogy, you say sheepdogs. Sheepdogs eat the same as the wolf.
Not the sheepdog.
Well, maybe not you, but sheepdogs in general. And you know, if there were no predators, the prey would overpopulate and then kill each other off from eating all the resources.
I refuse to accept that. The gods would never allow such a thing to happen.
So
They would step in. You seem to be a woman of very little faith, Vekni.
But I've seen a lot.
So that should inspire you to have a strong faith.
I've seen a lot
Something to believe in.
of bad.
I must ask you, do you believe in the gods? Do you pray?
I do not. I did once.
No to both questions? You don't believe in the gods and you don't pray?
I did pray. You know, in my younger days I prayed to Kortania.
I'm familiar with that god.
He's the main god of the Elven pantheon.
What are the tenets of Kortania?
Kortania. I don't know. I know he's the main god of the elves. She goes, it doesn't matter because praying to him did not save my family and my people from a genocide.
What happened to your people?
She'll explain the Marathi thing.
This Marathi sounds quite evil. That is exactly the kind of person that I would raise arms against. An evil person that would commit a genocide against a whole race. Truly vile and disgusting.
I mean, I agree with you on that, but wouldn't you, going back to your wolf analogy, she would be the wolf, and my people would be the sheep.
Yes, that's exactly correct. Why weren't you there to be the sheepdog?
This was, what,
26 years ago.
26 years ago. I was already banished from my land.
Banished for what?
Well, I just met you. I don't need to speak of it.
That's fair enough. That's unfortunate. Perhaps if you were there to protect your kingdom, it wouldn't have fallen.
I don't think that one person would have made a drop in the bucket.
Let me ask you, if this Marathi person was taken out, would that have changed anything? Would the rest of her soldiers have continued with the genocide of your people if she was to fall?
I don't know the hierarchy of her corps. So I do not know their zealotry in following her, and I just know that she wiped out my people in stories I've heard.
Perhaps one day, if the good Prince Lorien ascends the throne and becomes king, the people of Dovah can assist you in wiping her and her people, her and her kingdom off the face of the planet.
I mean,
perhaps.
it does owe me a lot right now. It should be in the works.
Clad will always be here. Will always be a friend to you. Will always be on your side.
Well, it's good to know. She gets up and she goes, I'll be right back, and she orders a steak and another ale. And she brings a steak back, sits down, and starts eating it in front of him.
He's eyeing the steak, and he looks, like, annoyed, but he doesn't make a comment about it.
And
Obviously, the other people in here eat meat, too,
Yeah.
so...
So she just did that to be a dick to him.
He looks annoyed, and he's just looking at the steak as you like
She ordered
ravenously.
it raw. Not raw, rare.
So as you ravenously shovel it in your mouth, he's just eyeing you with disgust and disdain.
And I'll wait till Sorin gets up.
All right.
So while she's waiting, she's waiting for Sorin, she goes, and she has a mouthful of meat. She looks up, she leans over and goes, "What if it's a frog? The frog gets eaten by the hawk. Who is evil in that case?
The hawk.
But if the frog had a mouthful of flies and was eaten by the hawk, who is evil in that case?
The hawk.
But not the frog, even though he was eating flies?
Well,
The hawk was
insects.
trying to protect the insects.
I guess you know what? I never really thought of it that way. They're both evil.
Yeah, I'm here now.
Okay. They're both evil.
But if your body constitution needs to have the meats that you eat, how is that evil? How is surviving evil?
You should never harm an innocent being.
Well, there are different types of creatures. There are omnivores, carnivores, and herbivores. And carnivores need to eat meats. Their bodies are not made to eat vegetables and fruits and leaves.
Here's the issue with your argument. You're speaking... He winces. He winces watching you do that. You're speaking from a place of environment and a hierarchy of animals and things like that.
Well, you
Where
made
you're not-
the analogy of wolves and
Yes.
sheep.
But what you're not taking into account is spirituality. Everything that you're talking about is based on logic and based on facts.
Oh.
You need to look at it through the prism of spirituality. Just because something is doesn't mean that it should be.
Why?
Vekni, you were trying to speak logic to a logical person.
Oh, hello, Sorin. I've just been having this weird conversation with this strange gentleman. Apparently,
Good day. Nice to meet you.
a cat is
Doomfist.
evil for eating a
Doomfist,
mouse.
hello, my name is Sorin.
Pleasure to meet you.
It's nice to meet you as well.
Praise
So-
be the
So let me ask you,
Temagorgos.
is it evil?
May his light shine upon us.
Let me ask you, is it evil?
Sorin kind of just nods, but doesn't say anything.
Is it evil for a king to use his people to go to war for him?
If it is to stop an injustice or to stop evil, then no.
But who's to say that what is evil?
Well, it's a simple thing.
It's
because
subjective.
good and evil are black and white. So
No,
if
no,
the
no.
king is correct and he's fighting evil, then he's objectively in the right.
Now let me
And
just paint a little picture.
He's doing
for
it for his own
There
power, then
is-
he's wrong.
There is, let's say, Kingdom A,
Sure.
and there is Kingdom B.
Why not use Prince Lorien and Vigor in your analogy?
Because I don't want to use people that are here.
Okay.
Kingdom A says, you know what? That land that B is on, it belongs to my family. There is an injustice. They have stolen my land, and they raise an army and attack B. Are they evil?
No.
Why?
If they perceive that the injustice is, if they're not being deceitful, and they truly believe that there is injustice and that they're combating evil, then they are not wrong.
So
Now,
injustice
hold on,
is
now
just,
They'd be justified to kill.
so
Yeah.
injustice is
B-
only on behalf of the eye of the beholder?
So if B,
Yes.
if Castle B says this is our home and you are invaders, are they evil?
To
For
group
fighting back?
to group A, they would be evil.
Your logic is flawed.
I'm sorry you feel that way, but again, you have to.
So
you're
who's
looking
evil
at
in
things-
this? Who's evil in this matter? You're from the outside and you see these two battling nations.
If I was to make an objective decision on this, I would say that squabbling and fighting and dying over such petty things is evil in itself. However, I can't put myself in their shoes. I understand that I can't see through their exact perspective as an outsider.
So Doomfist.
From the outside, it would appear they're both being evil.
You serve King Lorien,
Yeah, well, Prince Lorien currently.
Prince Lorien. Sorin's just going to extend out his hand, and it's good to know we have someone who is so just on our side.
He shakes your hand. I'm glad you see things my way.
Yeah, and Sorin's going to look.
Looks disgusting.
But yeah, they eat meat.
No, of course not. No. As a young child, I did. My parents would feed me meat as a
You don't know what we're missing out on.
I know it tastes good, and that is part of why it's so difficult to be chaste when it comes to
Is your god a vegan?
my guard.
God.
Temagorgos, all the stories I've heard is that he doesn't consume anything.
I'd like to go back.
He doesn't require
and get
sustenance.
my leg shackled.
He's a godly being.
I'm gonna go back to the hall.
I should have got a coffee, goddamn.
I'm gonna go back to the hall where we initially dropped them off.
Okay. That's like the little throne room.
Yeah. So anyone in particular I see in there?
You see Lord Henry in there with the prince and Sir Bros and Zaros, and they're huddled around a table, and they have a map of the Clyde Crownlands out on the table, and they seem to be having a heated discussion.
Okay. So I'll head over and obviously I'll see the argument that's kind of like happening, and I'll politely try to interject and ask if there's anything I can do to help.
Lord Henry looks up and he says, "Ah, Sir, Sorin, I'm glad that you're here. I wanted to ask you about something. When your friend Vekni, when the two of you rescued me from my prison cell, Vekni made a comment that was a little disconcerting. She said to me that she would be loyal to whoever had the most money. Is that something that you found to be true in traveling with her?"
Vekni is a material girl, living in a material world. However, I have found her heart to be in the right place.
What are we talking about?
You.
Noted.
You.
Are you talking about me to who?
Lord Henry. When we were rescuing him, he heard something that you said. You said that you were loyal to the person who has the most coin. So, yeah, so I said that you're a material girl living in a material world, and that, but I have found your heart to always be in the right place.
I'm just a material. No, that's fine.
That's good. I like that.
I kind of want to become a bounty hunter. Let's just serve all these fucking wanted posters.
There's a shitload of them.
There's so many.
You have stacks of
We
them.
can just be bounty hunters. You can be my baby Yoda.
We could.
Because you got the magic.
However, I don't want to be the Yoda at all.
Come on, it's so powerful.
Nor do I give a fuck about money. It's nice to have it though, but it's not.
I want to be a bounty hunter. I'm leaving Sorin. We're splitting the party.
We're not doing that. There's only fucking two of you. Did Brian ever answer? No.
I'm 100%
No.
on board
Nice.
for turning bounties in as we go, but I'm not going to stop doing the campaign just to start collecting bounties. And that's obviously because they're having a heated discussion. Is there anything I can do to help?
No, what we're speaking of is just the tactics in taking the capital. Just concerns about Moat Blood and how it will be difficult to bring an army into the capital to begin with, because of the geography of our kingdom. There's not really anything that you could do, I don't think. And he points you to this map, and you can see that to the far north of King Lorien's Valley, there appears to be this moat. So, like, King Lorien's Valley is a true valley. It's enormous, and you can see from this map that there are high mountains on both sides of the valley.
Do I
And
see
there's
that on here?
It's King Lorien's Valley is not on that map.
Okay.
You don't have a map of King Lorien's Valley. And you can see that there is a. Well, you know what? I guess they're showing you the map.
Holy Toledo!
So he shows you on the map how his concern is to get to the capital, which is north of Moat Blood. There's the castle of Blue Bolt guarding, and this is what he's telling you. And it's guarding this moat, and he's very concerned about getting past the castle. He explains that during Vigor's conquest, they started their attack at the capital. They moved south, and they took Blue Bolt basically without a fight. But we'll be coming from the fringe, which is south of the valley. So we're going to be going up north to get through, to get past Moat Blood.
Flood damage.
I know. we're going up north, and we're going to have to cross Moat Lud to get past Blue Bolt. He's very concerned about the logistics of how they can even do that against the garrison castle.
Shape order. So,
You can have this in the back.
yeah.
But that's what they were discussing.
So let me ask you this. Have you thought about taking the castle down from the inside?
Like to sneak into the castle?
Yes. Lower the drawbridge, and then allow your men to advance.
The moat is unlike a normal moat. It's actually it's an enormous lake. And there's these 3 bridges that go across the moat. I couldn't give you an exact distance, but they're quite far. So it'd be just raising the drawbridges on their own wouldn't be enough, because the sentries that garrison Blue Bolt, they would see a coming army try to cross the bridges long before they'd be able to sneak up on the castle.
So then, what about a small group?
Not to mention that Lord Bolts, who is Lord of Blue Bolt and one of the greatest lords of blues, would be a difficult person to deal with if he happens to be there.
So, what about just a small group who is able to sneak their way in and take it down from the inside?
What do you suggest? We don't have any warriors like that except for perhaps Zaros, but he alone wouldn't be enough.
Well, my suggestion is if a small group are able to infiltrate the castle and send a raven back to you when it'd be advantageous for you to advance, you can come with a day's notice, the drawbridge is down, and perhaps even one of their main commanders already dispatched.
That would make things quite a bit easier.
You would lose forces, of course, but such is to be expected in time of war.
Where did you go? Back to the throne room?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Currently, our numbers only number 80, so we wouldn't be able to storm the castle with our current troops anyway. We would still need to build an alliance first, but once we do that, your idea does sound like it could work. Because just trying to use force to storm past the moat and storm the castle it seems like it'd be impossible, to be honest.
Now, from what I'm seeing here, and I don't know if this is
Wait a minute.
true,
Oh wait, I'm here. Never mind.
but these are mountain ranges.
Yeah, those mountains aren't even passable.
Are you able to come down the mountains at all and come from there, right? Is this like all lake?
It's all lake, yeah.
Okay. It's only drawn like this.
It's just drawn like that, because I was lazy.
No, it's all good. But
You know how long ago I made that?
Vekni bursts in the room and goes, Sorin, you left me down there with that idiot Doomfist.
well, unfortunately, I did tell you that it was illogical to talk to an illogical person.
And I spent a couple hours trying to understand his logic. Oh, hello, Sir Henry.
He nods to you, Vekni.
What are you guys doing back there?
We were discussing how they can storm the Blue Bolt Castle and take down Blues, and then Sorin will just inform you the rest of the stuff.
Blues? Vekni looks at Lord Henry and says, we spoke to a few members of Blues, and they says that they have a lot of disdain towards Forte.
Yes, we discussed this, and don't you recall, Sir Brass told you that all members of Blue should be put to the sword for betraying the king?
I don't remember that.
Oh yeah, I forgot all that shit.
Yeah,
We did talk to a lot of people.
You talked about Blues to them, and they hate Blues.
Yeah, but Blues also doesn't want to be part of Forte, correct?
Yeah.
The members that you talked to didn't.
Now, if
That one girl though, she's part of Blues, isn't she?
Yep.
yeah, the whole group that was here.
You met 3 of them, and they all seem to hate Vicar, even though they're part of Vicar.
Well,
Yeah.
hold on. So you're going to? They were defeated by Forte
Mhm.
or Vigor, correct?
That's correct. Yes.
So you're going to hold that against them since they were defeated?
Why don't you look at what Look at what Lord Shilter and Camembert and all them did. They didn't stay behind to serve Vigor. They fled, traveled to Queen's Grace, and they have been building up their forces to take the kingdom back. Those of Blues have been getting bribed with gold and magic items to serve.
Okay, well,
Those of Blues that you met. Let me ask you: did any of them have any special armaments that you noticed? I promise you, they were gifts from
no.
Vigor.
From what I was told, the Blues, the leaders of Blues had family members and close ones to them captured and held it Vega to keep them under control.
Just like Princess Tyraz, yes. Did that stop the prince?
That's that girl, right?
That's it.
Did that stop Prince Lorien from trying to do what was right, taking the kingdom back?
Let me ask you this.
Is she in danger?
She is.
She seems to have free roam of the city. She seems to be able to do whatever she wants in the court.
She spent some time trapped in Lauriston as a prisoner, unable to move in a cell.
Now,
There was talk of her going to sadism, to be imprisoned in that Fury Lord's castle.
Is your prince willing to lose his sister?
Lord Henry looks down and he looks over to the prince.
Oh, he's here.
Yeah, so there's 4 people there.
They were arguing of different ways to take this down.
The prince says, "We can't let anything happen to my sister, no matter what."
Now, see, I understand that, but you have your claim to the throne, and there are people that will follow you for that. The members of Blues do not have the same strengths and claim as you do, Your Majesty.
If the great lords of Blues rebelled, the rest of their soldiers would follow suit. But the lords of Blues are subservient to Vigor and Furia.
How big are their forces? From what I heard, they are not that big.
Blues has a lot of men.
Unless I'm misremembering.
Blues has a lot of men.
In comparison
It
to
said
Vigor?
that they have around 4,000 men.
And how big is Vigor's army?
Blues is part of Vigor.
How big is Vigor without the Blues?
Well, you have the Forte troops, which are undisciplined, poor soldiers, but there's many of them.
Okay.
They have about 10,000, and then Fury itself only has about 1,000. But those soldiers are very, very experienced and powerful.
Forte has just lost some of its strongest members, some of its strongest leaders.
I thank you for that.
And to the best of my knowledge, right now is only being even run by one person, Karaganda.
Karaganda.
If Karaganda were to be taken down, what more Forte would be left? And I might even know someone who is able to take it over. And
You put a lot of faith in this weird night we met in a bar.
Well, there is still Edgar Brazil.
Who's that?
You didn't notice the statue of Edgar Brazil at the entrance to Vigor Valley City?
I noticed the statue, I don't know what it was.
I knew
I
I remember the well of statues, but I did not.
Well, there's a group of statues there of all the great leaders. 3 of them were Forte.
Who were the rest?
Well, Karaganda, of who you spoke, Frank Mandred, who you guys killed, and Edgar Brazil. He's they call him the supreme strategist of Forte, although their strategy is kind of subpar from what we've seen.
Where is he now?
I don't know. I've never seen him in the city, and neither has any of my men.
No one's spoken to him, or spoke of him to us.
I don't believe he's in the city.
So, Vigor rules with an army of 1,000. Over...
Well, with Blues and Forte, Vigor has 16,000 men. 15,000 men.
How big is Queen Inez's army, to your knowledge?
I don't know how many men that she has.
Do we know?
I know, but I don't know if you guys. I don't think you guys know. I don't think you guys asked.
What about the army of one?
I've never even met anyone from Moon. I don't know how big their army is.
Well, don't you think you need to know of that before you
We've been
start
trapped. We've been trapped in the city for the last month.
One has been here a lot longer than... No? They just got here?
They've literally. You guys arrived on Azoot first, and we're currently in Ilmater 4th. So we're 1 month and 3 days into the campaign in actual time.
Oh, okay.
Prince Lorien, to take down Blue Ball would be an ordeal. And myself and Vekni believe that we may have allies in there who not only can help us take it down.
One might be willing to join your call.
Lord Henry looks to Vekni after she says that, and he says, So Vekni, these allies of yours, do they have a lot of coin?
I do not know.
I'm gonna take that with you right now. Okay.
I'm a pirate. I don't belong to a blind enemy. Let's see what
But it would be advantageous.
And you see him almost kind of scowling at Vekni. He seems kind of disgusted with her.
Do you have a problem, my Lord Henry?
I am concerned that your heart isn't in the right place.
No. What do you mean?
Well,
I killed Frank Mandrake.
you did for money.
I killed the mayor.
For money.
I plan on freeing your lord's sister more than you have done.
When I was in jail.
I killed Frank Mandrake, Frank Mandrake without knowing there was a reward.
And I thank you for your service.
So I think that your contempt is ill-placed.
You say so?
I do. And she scowls right back at him with a
So with that,
He looks over to Sir Brost and narrows his eyes and then looks back to you. And then his look of contempt's gone.
so with that, Sorin will also tell Sir Henry that you know I am a good man, and you know I do not do things I do for wealth and money or power.
You I trust, Sorin. It makes me concerned that you travel with someone who is more of a mercenary than a loyal kingsman.
So again, Sorin will continue and say that he will personally vouch for Vekni, and stating that even though that she does seek gold and coin, her heart is in the right place.
Why don't you roll a persuasion check?
5 plus
No,
4.
you're not supposed to use that one. You're supposed to use.
I'm pretty sure that roll's gonna count. Okay.
So what did you have to roll?
Persuasion.
I know, but how high?
I didn't give you a DC. So you said what you said.
So I said.
His facial expression, like I said, he's no longer scowling. He just has a normal expression.
But anyway. We do have allies on the inside. So Sorin will tell him that we do have possibly have allies from Blues.
Were the people from Blues, were they going back to Blue Bolt, or were they going to Clean Inez?
They told you that they didn't think that Queen Inez would accept them, so they didn't say where they were going. But they kind of implied that they were not going to go to her.
Okay. I will go use Cannonbird to talk to them.
You did send a group of Slay that were at Lorgan's. They probably went. They left
To
you
tell
a letter.
them about Blues.
Yeah, they left you a letter.
Yeah, that's right.
And then Arlen said he was going to try to win over Sorin's heart through battle.
Was he Blue Bolt?
He's Blues. I don't think he told you what castle he was from.
That's what I meant, Blues, not Blue Bolt.
I think the only one that asked you was
Where do you want him going? Because I want to see him again.
he didn't tell you. But Mrs. T said that she's from Raven's Perch, but the rest of them didn't tell you where they're from. I believe Raven's Perch is on there.
So while we just have general conversation of Blues and everything else, then ask him about those shackles. Because I came in here on one of those back.
Sir Bross goes off.
Sir Aaron did give me those.
Yeah, Sir Bross goes off and he gets the shackles, retrieves, and brings it back to you.
What time of day is it now?
So Sorin woke up at around 8:30. We're gonna say.
Alright.
So
AM?
Yes.
AM?
AM. So we're gonna say at the latest 10.
Do you have anything going on in the city tonight? Or this morning?
Who are you asking?
Everybody in the room.
Lord Henry says we have not. He says we have not left the hideout since you guys returned, but we will be sending Getman out soon to scout to make sure it's safe for us to leave. We intend to follow your advice and go to Queen's Grace.
When do you plan on leaving?
Either tonight or tomorrow. It's kind of hard to really determine. It's going to be based on how quickly our people can get ready. We have to all leave at once. It's not going to be safe to filter out. We have to pretty much all leave at
I
once.
think that it would be better to leave sooner than later.
I agree.
Especially with the man dispatched, Frank dispatched.
and you missing from your jail cell.
I agree. Well, I'm sure they've noticed by now.
Perhaps Sorin and I can set a diversion for you to get out tonight.
That'd be great. Yeah, we appreciate that.
When we do,
For money.
We'll leave some men behind as well to make sure that you're able to get out safely when you do so.
when we do set off the diversion, is there anything that you can provide to us to let you know when it's safe to leave? Some kind of.
Do you have a way to communicate?
We don't have anything like that. I think our best bet would be to send Getman with you, and once you guys begin your diversion, he'll head back to us and let us know.
Send who?
Getman.
He's like their spy.
You'll send him with us to tell you when our diversion has started?
I can't really think of any other way unless you have an idea. If you have an idea, that's better.
That makes sense.
If you have some kind of magic or something, we don't have any mages in our ranks.
So it's the only magic I can do.
He looks at Sorin.
And she lifts whatever drinks on the table and has it swirl and then drop back into the glass.
So
do you have any kind of firework at all?
Lord Henry watches you do that, calculating, and he goes, "It's very nice."
That's all I can do.
I don't have any fireworks or explosives or anything like that. No. So
I have
we
to
have no
get my
mages.
dynamite back. I'm sure that we could use that.
So we do have to go get that, yeah.
Where do you have it? In the stables?
No, I left it with the person fixing my backpack. It's with Mike McLean. Had to go get him anyway.
Sir Henry, what can you tell us about these sewers?
You know, I haven't been correcting you, but you continuously call me sir. I am a lord.
Isn't that how you talk to a lord?
I am not a knight. I am a lord.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, I apologize. Lord Henry.
He does seem to be getting kind of annoyed with both of you, actually.
Okay.
But good.
He's going to ask him, what, if anything, can you tell me about these sewers that we're in?
Well, as you know, we have the room outside of our hideout trap, making it basically into a death trap. If we ever were to encounter vigorous soldiers there, we should have an advantage because of the gas. Unfortunately, I did battle a bloodless brigand in there alongside One Reaper and Edgerin, and he and his orcs defeated me pretty easily, so my plan didn't really work out too well. But
That's your friend.
you're friends with that You're friends with that bloodless brigand?
Did you say that in front of him?
Oh.
Vekni
He's
knows
already
better.
annoyed.
Vekni knows better than that. She's just looking at him.
Well, he told you that he captured Lord Henry.
Yeah, we know. That's why I was looking at him.
Yeah, he was quite strong.
Have you had any of your men?
He did something that was crazy. Honestly, I know magic exists. I know there's all these different kinds of monsters and things out in the world, but I've never seen anything like that before.
What did you do?
He transformed into some kind of a giant hulking blue monster that could use magic. It was impossible to fight him.
Giant hulking blue monster?
Mm-hmm. And with him and his orc friends, there was just the three of us. It wasn't a fair fight. We're lucky he didn't kill us all. If he didn't recognize me as a wanted man, we would be dead.
Does the orcs transform too?
No, just that brigand.
I believe I saw him at Logan's Tavern.
I'm sure Forte likes that kind of guys like that. He did work for them. He captured me.
I mean, I think anybody would like someone that could do that. Wouldn't you like someone in your ranks that could transform into a giant beast?
No, I would not want a monster serving under me. Hired.
Wouldn't see a monster be controlled by the person. Obviously, it didn't kill you.
Monsters are evil creatures. The fact that you would
Evil is
take that into
subjective.
consideration.
Evil is subjective.
Vekni, perhaps now is the time we...
I'm sorry, I've got to just... huge debates with your Doomfist out there.
He's a very pious man.
That is a word that I would use to describe him. Yes, he's a zealot who is Temagorgos, Zogoth, or whatever his name is.
He's a good servant to the rightful king, though. He does anything that we ask of him.
His moral compass seems a little skewed, so.
I understand what you're saying with some of his inconsistencies in his beliefs. But again, he's a loyal servant, and he does as I command. He's never refused an order, despite his moral quandaries.
Perhaps now we make our way back to the surface.
Do you think it would be wise to take the boats or through the shores? Because I know if we take your boat, it's the only one you have.
I think the boat is actually a better idea, because the boat can't hold anywhere near all of our men. We're going to have to go through the sewers anyway.
Okay.
We'll speak with him, and we'll try to arrange for him to clear the way for us.
Now, do you know if there has been anybody in the sewers since we came through?
We haven't gone in there, no. In fact, to be honest, we're a little bit wary of going back into the sewers. We're concerned because once Forte realizes that you killed such important people in the sewers, they're going to be combing the sewers thoroughly, and we're concerned. We may have to fight our way out as it is.
Would a larger ship fit in through the cave?
No.
What about disposing of the bodies in the sewers and no one should know?
We haven't attempted it.
Perhaps now is a good time to try. One of the bodies is already discounted. There's only 2 there.
Then didn't you leave other bodies in your wake as you traveled through the sewers?
Oh yeah.
Nicholas and his 2 guys, the 2 guys at the entrance, the Golem and the Orc.
I think it'd be best if we just flooded the sewers with our full force, came out, and then immediately exited the city.
How would you get out once you get out the sewers? Is the sewers within the castle's walls?
It is. It's something that we're going to have to figure out. Triant said that he'll help us. I'm sure that he has some kind of a way.
I remember we talked last time about his father.
He's the armorer.
Yeah. And they said they don't want him, but he's loyal to Loring, because we can come. I remember bringing this up. I can't remember the conversation.
I don't think you asked if Trifle would go with him or not.
No, because we talked about Tiger Fist being garbage,
Yes,
and Triant's dad
is better.
is better.
Yeah,
And
that's
he
for
said
sure.
that he was something to King Loring, but I can't remember.
He was King Lorien's master at arms,
So
but now he works for Vigor. So Forte.
And who's the guy that has?
Micklin.
Yes, That- as a slave.
But he said he's a good person too.
Yeah,
Do you think that Triant's father would still be loyal?
to Prince Lorien. Well, from what we've heard from Triant, he quite likes his position in Vigor. I don't know if it's realistic for him to.
How is
Leave
being an armor better than being the whatever you said his position was?
Master at Arms. Well, it's certainly a lower station, but he quite likes his work. And my understanding too is that he has quite a few friends that work with him. He has a dwarf
Yes,
that he's good friends with.
That stands there as a dark and is creepy.
Well, I don't know what you mean by that, but
I came by to.
he's not a Duragar.
He was just standing there last night when I walked past.
What?
It was really weird.
That doesn't make any sense at all.
It made no sense.
Why would he just stand there in the dark?
That's what he was doing.
I know, but Lord Henry's saying that doesn't make sense.
Oh, I thought you were questioning me.
No, Lord Henry is saying that doesn't make
Listen,
sense.
We passed it last night, and I wanted to see.
Perhaps there was a reason that he was doing that. I don't know.
Got me.
But also, I've heard from Triant that Trifle's slave is quite liked. That he actually enjoys spending company. That they're pretty much friends.
Isn't this what I was told too? The slave that you say, he is an old friend of mine. Perhaps I could break him out and bring him to you on your way out.
Do you think that he would join us?
He has reason to want to go to Queen's.
Why?
His son is there.
Be mindful about how many people you involve with us. if we make any kind of mistake and bring anyone into our group and to know our movements, to know where the prince is, you're putting everyone in danger. You're endangering the prince. You have to be careful. You can't just.
I'll keep him by my side, then.
I don't know. I don't really like this.
Like what?
The idea of just trying to including trifle slit. Like we have to be careful.
You
here.
mentioned trifle, not me, or Triumph.
I didn't mention. Yes, Triumph, not
I
Triumph.
was asking if you wanted us to speak to Trifle.
I prefer not.
Okay. Well, I made a promise to his slaves that I would break him out tonight.
Well, please don't speak of our movements to the slave.
It means probably nothing to him.
I don't know.
So I will not.
Just nothing that would endanger the prince, please. If the prince were to
So is
something
the
were to happen
prince
to the
planning
prince.
on leaving without his sister?
Yes. Well, no. We'll find a way to get her out of here. I'm sure Triumph would never allow her to stay behind. No, I'm sure we'll be taking the princess with us.
So is Triumph going to leave with you?
Oh yes, if we take the princess with us, Triumph will certainly leave with us.
Okay. But I guess we need to go get the princess.
Oh, I wouldn't concern yourselves with that.
And who do you have get them?
I'm sure Triumph has a plan. The two of them, they're little lovebirds. He would never leave her behind. I'm sure this is the most important part of the plan for him. Be able to spear her out of the city.
Go find Triumph. So you're saying we should take the boat and you'll take the sewers?
Mm-hmm.
So, what time at night would you like to make your escape?
As soon as my people are ready to go, as soon as they're done packing and making all the preparations, we're ready to go.
We plan on leaving here, so we need a time.
Is there a city center or like kind of like a clock inside this area at all?
To have a Big Ben?
Yeah, no, nothing like that.
Oh wait, you're sending Getman with us. So when we leave, Getman will be with us.
Yes.
Can you give us at least a window of how much time you need?
The earliest, absolute earliest that we would be ready would be late today. It would be the earliest, but I don't even know if we'd be ready by then.
What about 4 a.m.?
No, we'd definitely be ready by 4 a.m.
Then we will set out diversion for 4 a.m.
Okay. What do you plan to do?
Well,
Blow something up.
I got some dynamite. Make a lot of booms.
Sounds perfect.
Then
We will wait for you.
I mean, you'll hear the booms.
Oh, then do we even need to send Getman?
Unless
So if you come
something
out of
goes wrong. Getman should follow us, not directly with us, but follow us in case something goes wrong.
Okay.
If you come out of the sewers, do you plan on walking out the front gate?
That's the only way.
If you took a boat, could you get out through the river?
No, the river is just a reservoir. It doesn't.
I don't know.
It doesn't lead
It
out.
goes off the map.
It doesn't lead out of the city.
It just ends.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, the front gate is the only place in or out, right?
So we should.
That we know of.
And don't forget, Bitter Valley City, it is in a valley, so there's high mountains all around.
Yeah.
There's just that one
Terrible
path to get out.
location for a city.
Well, that's what Vigor decided to do.
It's more of a fortress than anything.
So perhaps we level the mayor's office.
Perhaps we level the front gate.
But no, because there's the guards who go to the front gate. We want to get them away from the front gate.
So maybe we tear down the residential area.
That was already burned down 2 days ago.
Why don't we head to the black market?
Where's that?
Far left in the corner. It's black market. Maybe we can find something interesting there. And while we're there.
There's quite a few places I think you haven't been, right?
Yeah, well, I don't think we've been to the Builders Guild Hall. We went to the mercenary recruiting office. The residential area was burned down.
You did have.
We did go to the guild hall.
You went to the mercenary recruiting office.
Yeah.
The Builders Guild Hall. You actually do a paperwork from Joey McBriggins to bring there.
Oh. Well, thank you. Perhaps we should go there. We have his paperwork.
We did that already.
No,
Yes, we did. We
you
did
went to
that
the
last
mercenary
session.
recruiting office only.
What?
You didn't go to Lowell.
Well, we had to go with the boat.
Could head there first. We had time. Then head to the black market. see if there's anything else to this plan that we can do. All they know is we're just gonna blow something up, and when they hear the explosions, they can come out. Sounds like a plan.
We have to stop. Then I gotta get my backpack with my dynamite.
Be ready by 4 a.m. Doesn't mean we'll be leaving at 4 a.m. If you don't hear the explosions by then, you'll know to stay put.
Sorin, or no, I'm sorry, not Sorin. Lord Henry steps away from his map of the valley, and he approaches Sorin, and he tries to grasp one of your hands in both of his hands. He says, Sorin, I trust you. Let's do this together and put Lorien back on the throne where he belongs. Put a Lorien back on the throne.
The one true king.
The one true king. And gives Vekni a look. Looks back to you.
She does that. She blows a kiss to him.
He doesn't react to it.
Let's make face back to the boats.
Sure. No. Oh yeah, we're taking this boat. Your Majesty. She takes the tip and flips her hat.
Thank you, Vekni.
Lord Henry.
Good luck.
You too. She'll walk out and see Getman on the way out and be like, "Come on, Getman, we're leaving."
Just a moment. And he walks upstairs.
Okay.
Upstairs for a minute.
So she'll get a nail while she waits.
Okay. Comes down and he's dressed in, he looks like a commoner.
We are heading to the boats. Or no, we're waiting for Getman.
Comes down, I told you, he comes down, he's wearing the commoner clothes. He's just dressed in like rags. And he looks like the people that you saw when you went through the residential area towards the sewers. He looks like those people. And he looks, and he too, like I said, he's bald. He's bald in. He has like a little bit of hair. He's got a little bit of hair. He's a little scruffy.
Shorter, about 5'8".
Yeah, he's like average. He's average height or like a little shorter.
He's not 5'8".
Damn.
No, he's 5'5".
I'm like 5'4".
Oh.
I'm really
Like,
I'm really
there's
small.
a picture. Delicia
I
sent
didn't know it was that
I didn't
short.
think you're that
Delicia
short.
sent me a picture of him and Grayson standing next to each other on the boardwalk. They're the same height.
Well, that's not true.
It's pretty damn close.
But
Grayson said that Dan's his best friend.
I like that. All right, so you get in the boat. Yeah, Getman's in the boat with you. You guys exit through that little like crevice that leads out into the reservoir, and you're on the water. And you notice things are a little different. All those fishing boats that are normally out in the water aren't there, and you hear in the distance. You hear like you hear this marching, echoing. A couple, and you're all the way across the reservoir, so it would have to be a tremendous number of people marching. You see, fly high in the air, that flaming figure that you saw as you walked towards Figure Valley City, that you know, Odoacer. You see that figure flying towards the direction of like deeper into the north part of the city, and you see it like descend as you're sailing, and you hear this noise as well. On top of the marching, you hear almost sounds like music coming from the direction of the city. That would be the mayor's office.
Did you say something about Odoacer?
Yeah.
Flying overhead.
You saw him flying. He's not near you. He's flying. You see his flaming steed in the air, far away, flying north into the city and then descending.
What? How's the weather outside?
The skies are gray. What time did I say it was?
Like 11.
11. The skies are gray and there's a slight drizzle.
Vekni will use shape water and have 2 pieces of ice roll up over the sides to try to conceal the boat.
Can you do that?
Yeah, I can shape water.
You can move the ice with you on
It
two
would be
sides.
attached to the side of the boat.
So by freezing it onto the boat.
Okay.
Yeah, freezing on the boat so it like covers us and distorts us from the thing flying above us.
In amazement, Getman's like, "Fuck."
Sorry, covers the front. Use your minor illusion to just make the front look like water.
Oh. I thought you were going to want me to hold her. Yeah, so I'll use minor illusion. And I'll have like the first 5 foot of the boat kind of just kind of be opaque in nature.
Okay.
So it just kind of looks like it's like see-through. You know, so that you see more water than you do actually from the boat.
Okay. Why don't you roll a? You're trying to be stealthy and quiet. Why don't you roll stealth? I guess it'd be Vekni that would have to roll because she's the one with the proficiency in water vehicles.
2 I have advantage because he's helping.
Sure. Someone gives you advantage. I call it 20 plus.
Look, there's a 16 and a 6.
I see.
Look at it.
Alright, no, it's fine. Alright, so,
So look,
Which D20 is it?
the red one, and then the blue one.
Alright, well this D20 is at 15, this D20 is at 6, that D20 is at 7, this one's at 5.
That's not a D20, that's a D12. So there's a 6, a 5, a 15, and the one I rolled is a 16.
Okay.
And then a 6.
Gotcha, okay, very cool. Yeah.
so,
One of those D20s does have a 16.
So, like I said, like there aren't any other fishing boats around you, and as you get closer to the shore, that marching sound is louder, and that music is louder. Not only is there music, but you can't make out words, but you could hear it's some kind of a singing. And the voice, even though you can't make out what it's saying, because it's of the distance, is very familiar to you.
Vekni's gonna lean in and go. She said, this is probably something on Calgonda's probably.
Can I recognize the voice? Can I roll history?
Yeah. DC's 7. No, DC's 8.
8. Unless I don't crit fail, I pass my history plus 7.
Wow, really? I've never heard of someone having such a high history.
He's probably got a max intelligence plus proficiency.
Well, my intelligence is
Plus 4.
19 plus 4, so I just need one more. But yeah, I have proficiency in history.
What'd
So
you roll?
I rolled 11.
Okay. So you recognize the voice as being the voice of honesty.
The guy that always sings.
The one that seems to know what you guys are doing.
So do I hear
No, you're not close enough to hear what the words are.
No, but it's like musical, like
You hear a musical instrument, and you hear his voice, but you can't make out what he's
So
saying.
we hear people
So
marching.
you hear like a.
Yes, but it's not a hum. He is singing.
No, but from a distance though.
Yes.
And we hear marching.
And you hear loud, and it's getting louder and louder, and you can tell as you get closer. Now you can tell it's fucking thousands of footsteps.
And it's getting closer to us.
Well, you're on the reservoir, so you're coming from
getting closer to it.
Yeah, you're basically coming from here, going this way. You can't really tell which way the people are marching because you're going closer to where there would be.
Yeah.
So, are they marching to you, or are they just marching? You can't really tell.
I mean, it's either this or back to the sewer, so we might as well continue forward and see what happens.
So you get to shore, and again, you just hear the marching getting louder and louder. You can't see Odoacer anymore. He descended completely. He's in the city.
Now, do we know that that's Odoacer by name?
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah,
This was established.
Those 4 or 3 ladies told us.
Okay.
Yep. You learn from them, and I think also the
Lorgan.
people of Clad. Lorgan. Yeah, you know it's him.
Vekni's going to turn to Gedman and goes, what do you think is going on?
I don't know. Perhaps Karagonda came back.
That's what I said.
That doesn't bode well for us. He's a lot less lenient than Shroud or Mandarin when he's here.
What do you mean lenient? You mean free range for the city?
Yes, I mean the soldiers will be more disciplined. He doesn't take kindly to insubordination or incompetence. He will execute his men without a thought, and he snaps his fingers. He'll execute them like that if they fuck up.
So maybe you should go back to the prince and warn him now
Okay.
to take the boat, and if we need to get back, we can come to us. So
Oh, I think that's a good idea. Now is probably a terrible time for us to try to leave, to be honest with him here.
Drop us off to the shore and then head back.
And then he gets back. And he looks fucking worried that Karagonda's here.
I'm worried that they're here.
I'm not. There's no reason for him to think that we did anything.
Yeah.
We'll make our way into the city.
So you're going through the residential area,
Yeah.
and you don't see any guards or anything.
Do I see any people?
Mm-hmm.
Sure, I'll go up to.
It's like normal. No one's really acting different.
I'll go up to.
Oh, I can.
Yeah, anybody you can touch.
Yeah.
I'll go up to the first person I see and be like, what is going on?
They look to you and, I don't know, I think soldiers are here.
Who is it?
I don't really know who the soldiers are or anything like that.
Is it?
You look familiar.
I look familiar?
Yeah.
Does he look familiar to me?
What did I miss? What were we talking?
He's just talking to like some random peasant.
Oh, so we're like offshore now.
You're in the residential area here.
Okay.
Bless you.
Thank you.
And you don't see any soldiers. There's just like people, like normal people. The last time you went through there was soldiers.
You do not look familiar to me.
I feel like I saw you somewhere. Oh, alright. And he goes back. He was like hanging up wet clothes. He goes back to that.
Okay. Continue walking.
As you and Sorin walk through the residential area, you notice that the people are all looking at you guys, and like with recognition.
Like all the commoners?
Mm-hmm.
How would they recognize us?
We don't know. However, that is concerning. So, where are we right now? Do we see any kind of building or any kind of alley or anything like that?
So you didn't say that you. So the last time you went through the residential area, you guys purposely said you were avoiding the main drag. I'm assuming you guys are just going down the main drag. Like I said, there aren't soldiers, so you're walking straight down this main area here, down the residential area. And as you go through on both sides, there are people just working, going about their day, and they just stop. And every group of people you pass, they stop and they look at you like they know who you. Like they at least recognize you to some extent. Like, what are they doing here?
Well, there have been people who have known of us. We have done things around this area.
Not really. And the only things we've done has been at night.
Alright, so again, my original question, do I see any kind of house or any kind of alley between two houses?
Yeah, there's plenty of alleys here. Oh yeah. Look, you can look on the map. That's accurate. There's plenty of alleys and stuff.
Right, so can Vekni and myself kind of like step in between two houses real quick?
Sure.
Yeah.
I thought what is going on?
I'm not sure.
She's gonna pull off her hat and shove it in her backpack.
But if you're okay with it, I think we can get through the city pretty undetected.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll cast
Read invisibility to me, just so I know how it works.
Sure.
I think it's concentration, so you can't do it twice.
It is. So a creature you touch becomes invisible until the spell ends. Anything the target is wearing or carrying is invisible as long as it's on the target's person. The spell ends for the target, then attack or cast a spell. So I can't attack. We can't. Once you do anything like that, it ends on the person. It's concentration for an hour. At higher levels, because it's a second level spell, when you cast a spell using a spell slot 3rd level or higher, you can target one additional creature for each slot above the second.
So I'm guessing you're using 3rd level.
I'm gonna use it as a 3rd level cast on both of us.
Alright, sure. I think it's a good idea.
And now we're invisible. We did it in between a house where no one could see us.
How long does it last?
1 hour. 1 hour. An hour's a long time. But
Yeah, you get a lot done in an hour.
Yeah.
Yep.
We should probably head to Logan's.
Yeah. Do we want to go to Lorgan's,
Well, that's where we go. I guess we could
do we want to go? Do we want to head to this city hall real quick and see if we're able to drop his dagger off anywhere?
I mean, we have time. We could take a detour, but we gotta make sure that they don't bump into anyone.
Do you want to go do that then by yourself and not bring me with you?
No. I do not want to go do that by myself.
Of the two of us, one of us is better at getting where they need to be, especially if they're invisible.
Well, of course, but I don't want to have my spell just draw.
Bump into other ways of true sight. Yes. Who just sees you and says, "What are you doing here?"
I think we should be better off if we go into Logan's and ask him what's going on.
I mean, like I said,
Why is these people staring at us like they know who we are?
I'm not sure. But we can get a lot done in an hour before we immediately just head there and drop the spell.
Okay. I think it's dangerous to walk around the city right now. So people are looking at us like they know who we are. So it must be something. So maybe I don't know why they would know us.
Well, why don't we try to infiltrate City Hall together then, and see if we can overhear any kind of conversations regarding us.
Right.
And while we're there, perhaps drop off the dagger somewhere in an inconspicuous spot.
Okay. We try it, but if she gets hairy, I'm out.
That's fine. What do you need me, Joe, the player character here, to know just how much time I have in an hour?
You have an hour.
No, I get that.
I don't understand what you're asking.
I don't want us to be...
Walking from one end of the city to the other is a half hour. So if you were to walk from here to the top left of the residential area, that'd be a half hour walk.
So essentially, what you're saying is...
So if you walk to the mayor's office, it's almost a half hour.
It's almost a half hour already.
Yes. So if you were to walk
Just to walk.
to the mayor's office and then let's say to like a shop, that's all your time. Without you doing anything at either place. Just walking there or walking back, your time is pretty much up.
Okay. But I would assume that we're going to spend some time in the city hall.
I don't know what you're doing.
I would assume.
Okay.
So... if we're able to find a place in City Hall to hide, even just for a few seconds,
You cast it again.
I can cast it again. If I have to drop the spell first and then cast it again. And that would give us another hour. It's about a 30-minute walk just to City Hall. And the spell lasts an hour.
Okay.
So, let us make haste.
Yeah.
As you enter this like exit of the residential area here, you make a couple of observations.
Okay.
Number one, you can now see soldiers, but they look a little different from the soldiers you've seen up to this point. They're still Forte, wearing Forte colors. They're marching through the city with purpose. Rows of them, organized, which is not how Forte has been. Not only that, but they're dusty and ragged, like they've just returned from a long journey. You still hear the singing and the music, but you still can't quite make out the words. And
move closer to honesty.
directly to Sorin's right, you notice, pinned up on a post, these 3 pieces of paper that look fresh, like they're brand new, like they were just put up. These are the 3 pieces of paper that you observe.
Great. I've got way too bounties on us now.
No.
No, we can't even fucking say it with a straight face.
Right to Sorin's right.
Well, here's Vekni.
And they're just like every bounty.
And
There's
here's
illustrations of what you look like.
Oh, Lorgan told us.
Which one was working?
The bartender.
Bartender? Frank Commander?
Oh, it's not dead.
Who's not dead?
Frank Mander. That's the guy that fell in the pit. He didn't die.
He didn't die?
Even with all the dynamite and the stuff that said
And the super soldier serum?
they said to kill him.
Wait, Salvatore is the guy that I was talking to, right?
The guy that the guy from the assassination squad that you didn't kill. The one that
so
you
you
purposely didn't kill.
Oh, that's alright.
Why would Dan Carr say that? I never talked to her about that. That's a lie. Dan
I'm
Carr.
only worth that. What's your bounty? 40, right?
No, it's not.
I was gonna say. Alright.
I said he's time to get out of there.
I think there's a reason why people have been looking at us now.
Perhaps our diversion should be blowing up Logan's town.
Perhaps, but I need to get to City Hall.
Right, well, let's go. How long is this spell going to last?
Right now, I would say about 45 minutes. I assume it took us 15 minutes to get to where we were, or another 15 minutes.
Probably not quite 15 minutes.
All I know is that
It's
it takes
probably 10
us,
minutes.
all I know is it takes us 30 minutes to get to City Hall.
Yeah.
So by the time we get to City Hall, we
Half
got
your
30
spell's
minutes. Yeah.
Do you need a full rest to get your third level spells back?
I can get 1/3 level spell back. So if I take a short rest, I can get any X amount of spells back that equal my level. So right now, because I'm level 5, I can get like 1/3 level and like 2 first levels. You know what I mean? Like I equal 5. Like 1/3 level and 2 and 1 second level.
Alright, so let's make our way to the...
I believe.
You're going directly through? Directly? So you walk past that well, and there's all those statues again that I described before, with several just different leaders of Fortes with plaques in front of them saying who they are. Not Forte, I'm sorry, just a Vigor in general, and just saying who the guys are. And yeah, as you pass, so you're going straight north, right?
Yeah.
So as you continue to travel north, you're basically walking right next to the Vigor soldiers. They're basically walking up and down the main drag to the mayor's office and back.
Yeah, but they're
basically
marching in formation.
They're in formation.
Yeah, so we can just. Yeah.
As you pass Dankar's, you notice something. It's not bustling like it normally is, and all the windows and the door, they're all boarded up.
Okay.
Like it's closed.
So I guess going into Lorgan's is not advantageous for us.
That's Dankar's.
No, what I'm saying, Lorgan's motherfucking rat us out.
Yeah, well, it's a good thing we saw these signs.
As you get closer and closer to the mayor's office, you hear that music is coming from there. And you can start to hear the song that's being played.
While you're doing that, I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
I don't know if we should go to, as we're getting closer and we see all these guards and soldiers and hearing the music, I don't know if we should go there. Because Calgando's there and we saw the orc headings that way too.
Really, I don't know anywhere else for us to go.
So fuck out of here.
This is a song that Honesty is playing. You know this song or no? The actual song?
Dio?
Nope.
Off to the west was Vigor and us. In a rocky land called Valley City, where Caraganda and Frank were called the Masters. A legend was made, Vekni and Sorin. They made allies to bring to crown a new Dovah king. With Frank in one, chaos moves and slay. United father and son, held the dwarf with his hun. They'll have to defeat the armies of Forte. Frank Madrid of Forte. His death brought fear to the Vigor lords. Frank Madrid of Forte. Return of Rona to Snorion.
He's completely ratting you out that you attacked Frank Andrew.
I've been trying to.
Wait, but he said that Frank Mandrick died.
He did.
So he said that Frank said he attacked.
This is the song. That is what he's saying, and you can hear him clearly. He's coming from the direction of the mayor's office.
Motherfucker. He's clearly some magical little fucking creature too, who can probably teleport everywhere he needs to be, exactly where he needs to be, so he knows all this fucking bullshit information, and he's probably some fucking level 20 bullshit fucking fairy pixie dickhead. This motherfucker. Like Kingston and shit.
Are you going to continue your march towards your walk towards the mayor's office?
Yeah.
Okay.
I wish I had some of my dynamite while I was invisible.
We also don't know. Well, why don't you go get your dynamite? Why don't you go get it?
I will.
Go get it now. I'll go to the city hall.
You go to City Hall without me? I don't think we should go to the City Hall. I think we still need to get these guys out of here, and then we need to get the fuck out.
So you see the following. As you get close to the city hall, you observe rows and rows of Forte soldiers, more than what's here. In front of the rows, you see these three separate, that seem like, almost like they're leaders, that you don't recognize. You see a man wearing Forte colors. He has this uncombed orange poofy hair and this greasy looking orange beard, and he's missing one of his front teeth. You see another guy wearing this heavy hauberk, and he's like this huge, massive, armored guy. And you see Salvatore, and all three of them seem to be leading like different legions of different groups of these soldiers in front of you. You see Honesty standing on the platform of the gallows, playing his music, singing, getting down. No. You see 4 people hanging from nooses on the gallows. You see Lorgan hanging. Dankar hanging. and 2 men wearing Forte uniforms. They look very familiar. One of them is fat and sloppy, and the 2 men are the 2 Forte guards that Sorin bribed to get into the mayor's office.
Morgan and Dankar, who are they?
Those are the bartender and the lady of the rich place.
The dining hall.
Ah,
They appear to have been executed,
gotcha.
and the
So-
two guards you bribed also appear to have been executed.
Gotcha. So Lorgan probably.
And,
That's
and fucking Honesty is in front on the gallows on the platform playing his music.
Doing his thing. Just doing.
Can I attack while I'm invisible?
You can, but then you drop your invisibility to do that.
I'd like to shoot him.
If you take any kind of attack action or spell right now, you can drop your invisibility. Well, it's good to know that at least we weren't ratted out by our own accord. They're probably tortured in doing it, and they did.
They look all like beat up and fucked up. They have injuries aside from being hung.
Yeah.
Like they were fucked up and tortured.
Yeah. I guess.
How does this honesty know what this? But I understand that. I don't understand how he knew everything so heavy.
Fireball. It's right there.
What do you say we plant the dagger on Honesty?
How?
We're invisible. You know.
Down.
Or
But I'm a
even-
little worried about honesty that he knows all this shit. Does he have
knows
some kind of like?
everything.
Does he know have like a true sight? Can he know where we are?
I don't know that kind of stuff. Honesty is a motherfucker. I hate this goddamn guy.
Yeah.
I've hated him since the start of my one shot.
We need to go get my dynamite, and I need to just walk between the soldiers, dropping them.
I don't know if you.
Fireball.
Yeah, but would you drop concentration, dropping fire or dynamite?
I'm just putting them on the ground. I'm not shooting anybody.
And that's a question you should have probably asked the DM before you decide to do it. But you should go get your dynamite anyway.
If I put my dynamite on the ground, does that count as an attack?
No.
not lit.
Just place it on the ground. But you see the 3 people I described. You see Salvatore, the guy with the head, this giant red halberd, this hulking dude. He also has his helm. And then the guy with the orange beard. He's got the orange hair, poofy, uncombed, and this greasy orange beard. He's missing a tooth. Missing a tooth.
So I assume.
Does he have a giant sword strapped to his back?
No.
And I assume that it's these guys here in the red.
Yes.
And the person.
And the purple and purple, that's
And it's
Salvatore.
almost like they're kind of leading their own legions almost.
Yeah, but there's more troops than what's represented here.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna continue.
Wait, hold on. Okay.
I'm gonna continue into the city hall.
Well, the door's closed, so you can open the door.
Yeah. I'm gonna grab the handle first and see if it's unlocked.
It is locked.
Do we see Karaganda outside?
No.
No, I already asked.
Is there a window open?
Yeah. Alright.
So we look through the window.
So you look through the window and you see it's like it's that lobby area. Remember, there's the painting of the mayor in the lobby area. There was that sign that tells you the different places you can go, and you see there's a bunch of soldiers in the room, and it's not a big room. A bunch of soldiers, and you see a woman struggling. Like you can't really hear her too well, but she's like struggling, trying to get loose from Karaganda. Has her by a wrist. And he's dragging her over and trying to hand her to this half-orc wearing this armor with this red cloak over it with that bigger sigil on his cape. She's an odor racer. And the woman's a princess.
Do we recognize the woman?
The woman's a princess. Princess Tyrese.
Oh, it's Tyrese. Okay.
He takes the woman, odor racer, and he throws her onto his shoulder. And he starts walking towards you, or towards the door with her on his shoulder.
Shit. Sam's a princess.
Towards the front door.
Yep. The door opens. And just the time's passing.
Okay.
Door
He
opens.
doesn't have
You
his...
see Old Waster with this girl over his shoulder.
And he's walking towards the front door of the municipal building to leave.
I'm going to run to the front door.
Okay. And?
I'm running to the front door.
Okay. The door opens. He starts.
I drop invisibility immediately.
What?
Yeah, immediately.
Are you? Wait, what? What?
Wait. Are you dropping it on me too?
No, just me. Just me. I drop it on myself immediately. I drop to a knee, and I hold up the paper that my mother gave me. That's all I did.
Can I see it again? I don't remember what it said. Why is this all fucking wet?
It's in my beers. I don't have them on the pool table. I have them on the paper.
The woman's kicking and screaming on his shoulder, and he sees you and he goes, "Out of my way. I've got places to be."
Did he read the note?
No. You still not move?
What's that?
You still not move?
I still won't move.
He takes the note. He looks at it. He's reading it. He looks puzzled.
Yeah, he can't read.
He looks puzzled. And he says, I don't know Agenlia. I don't understand.
So, still on the knee. Now that he's taken the paper, his hands down, and he slowly kind of like raises up his hand, his like face to look towards him, still down on the knee out of respect. And he says that his mother is Wilma Wormwood.
He hears that name, and you see like the shock of recognition in his face.
The Odoacer's mom?
Oh, and you're her son?
Yes.
Well, it says in this letter to ask when you were born. How old are you?
25?
Oh no. Oh no. It can't be. Stand up.
Oh, the hag?
Stand.
He's Odoacer's son?
Yeah.
Stand up. Stand up.
I know that my character actually doesn't. So yeah, I'd stand up.
He gives you a letter
That's
back.
funny.
He takes a step back.
Characters that have something to do with that.
The woman's still
My
kicking.
character has pale white skin and white hair.
The woman's still kicking and screaming, and he's looking you up and down. You don't appear to have any work in you.
That's actually a fair point.
So
Because
what
when
ways-
orcs mate, the orc genes are way stronger than anything they mate with.
It's true, but he's also half orc, so there is half
You'd be
human.
quarter work.
Yeah, be 1/4 orc. I explained it to him.
What do you say?
What? Wait. So he said. Wait. So he said what? To me, he
You don't
said,
appear to have any work in you.
No, but he said something. Did he actually tell me that would make?
That you're his son?
Yeah.
No, he didn't.
Oh, I don't know why I would. Wilma is my mother.
With a letter, isn't it clear to you? She's saying in the letter that you're my son. 26 years ago, I had four-way sex with her and two other hags.
I also got my dick sucked for a shield.
That did happen.
And I got my cock sucked for a shield the same year. It was an interesting year. I died. A lot of stuff happened. I died a couple times, actually.
Perhaps there is somewhere we can discuss this. Not here, in this doorway.
Damn it! He looks over to the princess. I can't right now. Meet me at my castle, and we'll discuss this. I can't. I have things I have to do that are more important than you, boy.
And what of this? And he'll show him the wanted picture for himself inside the area.
These fools think that they can kill me. Good luck. And he flicks the paper.
No, it's my wanted.
Oh.
My wanted.
Oh.
Yeah. How?
Boom! I got some money! Fuck you, boy!
Sweet! Nah. He looks back over to Karaganda. He goes, "This wanted man, remove his bounty." And he just drops the paper on the floor and he goes, "Now I must go." And he just pushes by you. And then all of a sudden, you don't see any kind of effect or anything. Apocalypse just appears. All those effects, only the owner actually sees that.
Yeah.
He jumps on Apocalypse with the princess on his shoulder, takes off into the sky.
Okay. So
And Karagon is looking at you. You again.
Me again.
Well, I guess we're not supposed to kill you.
I told you I've always been good at making friends in high places.
Well, he's one of the leaders of our entire organization, so if he doesn't want you dead, I guess I really can't do anything to you. Okay.
Yeah. That was my plan from the beginning. That's the only reason I wanted to come to City Hall. I didn't know Odoacer was here, but I figured...
Yes, he did. We saw him.
You saw him fly to the north.
Yeah, I assumed he was in City Hall. Yeah, I assumed he was in City Hall.
So Vekni,
He left for the princess.
invisible, is just sitting under the window being like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, did you actually hear anything?
I was right next to you. I don't know how far the window was from the door. I'm sure I saw it.
I would assume that you wouldn't have not listened.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So you know that he is the son of a Fury Lord.
So Vekni's gonna come up behind him and be like, what the fuck are you doing?
So you're still invisible.
Yep.
I hear that. Sorin is gonna like play it off. That like he knows he hears it. He's gonna like scratch his head, kind of like this, and just kind of go.
Karaganda says, despite what Odoacer ordered me, you did grievously injure Frank Mandred. We don't even know if he'll survive. You're not welcome here. Leave.
Okay. So Sorin, not invisible, just walks through creepily.
They let you go. Well, the soldiers, how are they gonna know what happened?
Town wouldn't know.
So as you walk through the ranks, the first couple ranks that would have kind of overheard a little bit of the conversation, they're just looking at you like, oh, there he is. They don't say anything. And as you get further down the ranks, you start hearing the soldiers go, he's here! He's here!
Sorin very confidently will just continue to walk. And I mean, how far did I actually make it? I mean,
You've only made it a couple.
Right,
only
so-
the only people that heard
Let me
you.
ask you, while he's doing this, how close is honesty to all this happening?
Honesty is nowhere near earshot of where that happened.
Can he see?
The gallows are to the east of the entrance to the mayor's office, to quite a bit.
I still want to.
They're on the map, I believe.
I do too. Of course, it's odd.
Yes, I don't want to just like leave. So yeah, if I only made it a few feet, then obviously Karaganda can hear this.
I guess he would. And Karen would. Nah, he's good. We're removing the bounty. Let him go. Let everybody else know. Let him go.
From the beginning, did you say that having a bounty is something that you want to be when you're a pirate? Odoacer already left. I really don't know how to tell Karaganda, oh, her too. I mean, really.
Who? No one sees her. Oh, my invisible friend too.
Yeah, I don't know how I'd be able to play that off. Really, I don't know how to just play that off.
I'd meet you at the and I disappeared more.
Well, I can't see you either, right?
Well, you're walking straight through
You
the
and
army.
me
I'll
see
go around the outside, so I don't bump into
I
anybody.
can't see you, but I know that you're there, so I hear what you say.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Fucking.
Just gonna walk out.
Fucking. Oh my god.
Just gonna walk out. Like, I don't.
Vekni's gonna beeline to the armor.
Your invisibility is gonna drop soon, but yeah, I'll get to the armor too.
And I will try to take alleys and not in a wide open area in case the spell ends.
We should be able to get through this one.
And while I'm moving, I'm going to take off, or I'm going to put on my blues. No, do I have a forte? I do have a forte tabard. I'll put the forte tabard on. I'll try to put my hair up as much as I can. Put my hat on, pull the feathers out, roll up the edges so it doesn't look like the hat I normally wear.
You're still invisible for right now, right?
Well, yeah, but I'm doing this while I'm moving. Pull out the big
blue and green feathers that I had out. Roll up the sides. I'll reach down. I don't know if that'll work. I'll just keep going. I'll tuck all my hair into my hat and wear my forte tabard.
Alright. So you get to the area near the armor shop, and you see there are soldiers milling about near the shop.
I'm going in.
So you go inside the armor shop?
Yeah.
You enter the armor shop?
We both do.
And you both do, and you see that Sorin. You enter the room, and you enter the armor shop, and you see that most of the weapons and armor that were in there are gone. There still are some suits of full plate mail strapped to the walls, like there were before, surrounding the room. But a lot of the armors and weapons, all the weapons are gone, and most of the armor is gone. Trifle is still behind the counter, like he was when when Vekni first entered the armor shop before, and that dwarf that you saw the previous night is also standing there. Sorin, when you walk through, you've never been in here before, correct?
No.
No, not to my knowledge.
No.
Trifle looks to you and says, "We're closed, get out." I'm waiting for someone.
Oh, I apologize. And Soren's gonna like turn as if he's gonna.
Am I in there yet?
You're in there invisible.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Soren's gonna turn away as he's almost gonna leave. I'm sorry. Who are you waiting for? Is it me?
I just said we're closed to get out, so no.
Feeling a little cocky right now. I ain't gonna lie.
Do what you're gonna do. I don't give a fuck about this guy.
I think you did.
Are
I'm
there
looking
blinds?
I'm
on
looking
the
for
windows?
Malakos. Malakos?
Yeah.
I'm looking for Malakos.
If he starts to speak, reaches into his pocket, takes out the stack of papers, opens them. Puts the paper away, and he says, "Your friend Vekni was planning to free my slave. She spoke of it right in front of me. And now I have to do everything I can to get my son out of the jail." He reaches his hand up, and you see his hand start to glow blue. And the suits of armor around the room start to come to life and detach from the wall. Low priority.
Thanks for watching this episode of Power Word Nerd. Be sure to follow us on all social media sites.